welcome back. It is Brian and Chris
And
and
Aaron.
Aaron. I was going to say that, but
That's
you can say
okay.
it.
I mean, you know.
See, he's Jones.
He doesn't trust you to get it right.
That's
the
right.
first time, so.
And it's, well, I won't go down that road. All right, so last week, if you watched, we did we posted last week. Yes, we're in the same clothes because we just did it like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we just got finished eating what we didn't film us eating.
Yeah, so we're actually doing what we typically do, right? You get something to eat, then you have a little bourbon to top it off the night. So that's what we're doing. We're going to do that every other week. Like I said, this is you want to get the little thing ready? This is Burgers and Bourbon reviews.
I already did the burgers and bourbon.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll throw that
we're
back up
doing
there
it
again.
All right, so here's what we're doing. Purpose of this is we're going to review burgers throughout Louisville. So if you've got some recommendations, make sure you send them to us. We're also going to review bourbons. If you got a bourbon you want us to try and review, send it to us. We'll go buy it or get it somehow, and we will give you our opinion of it. Now,
And I think on the bourbons, we're going to kind of try to avoid the most common ones that everybody's
yeah,
had.
absolutely.
Do
Yeah.
something a little bit more obscure.
So we're not going to do Makers or Jim Beam. They're all good. We know that, but we're going to do things that are,
A little bit more interesting.
Yeah. And so this week, this is the first one, and we chose Willett, not because it was already here.
Yeah, it was
right.
already,
It was already here, and really, it's a cool ass bottle, right?
Yeah, that it is.
It's a cool bottle. It's just not one you see all the time. Here, I'll slide.
Showed up there close?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, see that? It's kind of cool. Well, you
So
can't
it's
get the whole bottle in the.
It looks just like a still.
It does, yeah. It's pretty cool. So before we taste it, what I thought we'd do is, and it's going to be just like the burgers, right? So we're going to go through, taste it, give you our opinion, and then we're going to rate it, and we'll keep the scale from 1 to 10. How about that?
All right.
Okay. All right. So
This time we're gonna qualify what it takes to get to a 10 for us because we didn't do that with the burgers. I kind of remember I threw that horrible
I don't know.
rating out there.
Well, do you think
we're gonna have to come back and do that?
Will
one
we
next
even
week.
find a 10?
I do believe a 10 exists.
Okay. All right. Well,
I don't know that I've had it, but I do believe it exists.
I've got one. I've got 2 that are pretty close, but
All
we're
right.
going to do those a little bit later. Anyway, and in several weeks we're going to have a special guest that many of you may not know. Most of you probably know, especially if you know bourbon, that will tell us exactly how bourbon should taste and all that good stuff. This is going to be kind of cool. But anyway, this is Willett. So the one thing as we were doing our research, which is basically just looking at
look at the bottles and we drink it.
We were just looking at the bottle. But the interesting thing is that I thought this was kind of humorous. It says, please joy in moderation. I'm assuming they have to put that on there. Maybe is it on every bottle? I don't know.
Probably.
Is
Every
it?
bottle.
Is it really?
Every bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, it says, please enjoy in moderation in the same way it was made, slow and unhurried.
Now that might not be
Yeah.
in every bottle.
I thought that was pretty
I thought
cool.
that was kind of smooth, right? Speaking of smooth, how old is this?
I don't have any idea.
Let's see. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'll start out. Well, Aaron, you start out. When you pick out a bourbon, is there something specific you're looking for? What is there like a taste you're looking for? What is it?
I like bourbons that have a little of a more of a smoky taste.
Yeah.
And have a nice smooth finish on the end. So when I'm drinking my bourbon, I like to I do drink it particularly on the rocks.
Okay.
But
Now, do you mix it with anything?
not unless
No.
I'm drinking something that needs to be cut. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I drink something that needs to be cut, then I'll cut it with something. But normally I do like the smoky flavor, and I like something with a nice smooth finish, not too big on the back end.
Yeah. Here's what cracks me up. Y'all see this all the time. You know, you'll be at a cocktail party or somewhere, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I love bourbon." You're like, "Oh cool. Well, what do you like?" They, you yak off a couple of bourbons, whatever, and then you go up to the bar and they go, "Hey, I'll take an excess and soda,
Coke.
or Coke," and you're like, "All right, you don't like."
I'm
bourbon,
sorry, that's
clearly.
a sin. It's in the Bible. You don't
Yeah.
put Coke in your bourbon.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the guests we're going to have here in a couple of weeks, you don't drink it with anything. It's just
Nope.
with nothing.
Nothing.
So I'll go and then you can go.
All right.
So Bourbon to me is neat. That's the way I drink it. It's the way I think it should be consumed, because I think that's where you get most of the flavoring is when you drink it neat. However, like Aaron, it can't be real hard on the back end, right? I like it very smooth. That's why we're gonna review my favorites here coming up in the next several weeks, because I don't feel like it has all that. I will say that I had a bourbon. I tried a new bourbon several weeks ago at a buddy's house. I don't remember what it was, but we'll review it. But it had a big kick on the back end, and I have to cut it. So when I do, I cut it with ice. That's it. I just put a little, and I usually just do a cube. And to me, that sort of waters it down enough over me sipping it that I can do it. So how do you like yours?
Just
I've
about
seen you
all of
dr-
the above.
I was gonna say I've seen you drink it multiple
It depends
ways.
on what the bourbon is. Some things I like neat. Some things I'll put a cube or maybe 2 of ice in it because I want to cut it a little bit. Brings out some of the flavors. The ones that are really smoky, I'll actually take a little bit of cold water and put it in there. Just a few drops is sometimes all it takes. But I prefer the stuff that's really kind of heavy weeded, so it's a little bit smoother anyway. And in that case, just drink it neat. But I like cocktails too. I mean, I like bourbon I like old fashions. I like Manhattans. I can sit there and drink that stuff all the time.
I see
I
you
love
do a
that
lot
stuff.
of drinks.
I like the old fashioned as well, and bourbon mules like that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
That's my golf course drink.
yep.
Is Kentucky Mule. Love them.
Yep.
Now, I'm not pouring the whole thing in here, okay? So I'm not trying to, we're just tasting it. Put it that way. I don't want anybody calling up saying, "Look at those guys over there in that." I don't
That
know.
place.
Financial planning
they
office.
can see the logo back
Yeah,
there.
the financial planning office sitting over there, consuming two or three shots of bourbon. That's not it.
No.
All right. So everybody just kind of taste. Now I've had this, so I've had it.
Times. Willett is
so-
fantastic.
Right.
But go ahead and taste it, and we'll give you our opinion. Now I will tell you, this is not one that I feel like I have to cut. I think I could drink this neat. It's not the smoothest thing I've ever had, right?
But
it's not.
It's not too bad on the back.
It's
But
not bad.
I
bad.
love the flavor.
How much is this thing? About $40 bucks.
I was Willett $50 for a 750.
Okay, yeah, it's about $40 bucks or so.
Yeah.
And one thing we're going to learn as we go through this, we'll talk about sort of the low end, sort of entry level bourbons, and then you got your mid level bourbons, and then you're going to have your high end bourbons.
Something that might be fun, not to interrupt, but maybe we do a little blind tasting of some
that would be
lesser expensive ones. Like, you and I've talked about it. I like to decorate bourbon bottles, as do you. Different technique.
Yep.
And I've got several that are $20 to $30 bottles that I didn't buy thinking it would be good. I bought thinking it would be a good decoration after I drank it, and it ended up being really good. So maybe let's do a blind tasting of lesser expensive ones.
Well, yeah, I think,
Right? I think it'd be fun.
and that's the purpose of this is we're just going to take a bottle or two. Sometimes we may take 4 or 5. It's the same way with the burgers. We may review one burger. It could be 2 or 3, and we do kind of a blind test or
We
something
got
like
one
that.
place coming up on the burgers that we got to
Is
do
it
like
White
7
Castle?
or 8 at the same time. It is.
White
It is.
Castle?
Yes, it's White Castle.
Yeah.
Um,
The
all
Castle.
the different types of the Castle.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
I know. Hey, speaking of Castle, speaking of the White Castle, the one over on Westport Road.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, if you like White Castle, and I don't really, no offense, I just don't I don't eat them. But however, I have been there a few times really late at
Don't
night.
do the sliders, huh?
And they literally have a big red fountain.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Oh, it's a fountain. You walk up,
you can't
drink
do White
it.
Castles without Big Red.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
Now,
a
you
bourbon.
said you were there really late at night. Is there any other time of the day that you would go to White
yeah,
Castle?
you don't go to White Castle at 3 in the
I
afternoon.
don't know. I drive by there in the middle of the day and there'll be people there. All right, we're talking bourbon today, though.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, you talk about whatever you want to.
Well, I know, but still, we're talking about bourbon. You had to go back and listen to last week's episode where we did
There you
Browning's the Shed, by the way, and they carry bourbon there too. So go check them out. It's a great place to go hang out and have a glass of bourbon or a drink of bourbon. So, all right. So, if you were to rank, how would you rank this bourbon?
Oh. And I'm going to cut mine a little bit just to.
I'll go. Or do you want to go?
I particularly like Willett. I don't drink it all the time, but
Yeah.
I particularly do like it. Willett would probably be on a scale of 1 to 10 for me. I would say around a 7, just because it's not really smooth on the back end, but it's also not. I can easily drink this without having to cut it.
Yeah.
And I do like the taste of it too. So I would probably put it right there around the range of a 7, just in my opinion on it.
So when you tasted it, what did you taste in it? Is there anything in particular that you
Let me do
tasted in
again
it?
real quick.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask that question. Like, what do you taste? Like I get a hint of some kind of sweet something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
more
There's a
sweet.
Like a
sweetness in
sweet taste to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a sweet taste than some of your smokier brands.
Yeah.
If you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Oh yeah. It's definitely not a
Yeah.
not a smokier brand, but
And I'll say this: I don't know that I have the palate to be able to pick up like all the different vanillins and all
Right.
that are in it. I wish I did. It'd be kind of cool to be able to pick that out. Now, if you put two side by side and I taste them, I know there's a difference, but I don't know what causes the difference, right? I just know that there's a little bit of a difference.
We have a guest coming in a few
Oh, yeah.
episodes that is going to teach us
Yeah, that's true.
how to do that.
Yeah, we'll know all about it. We'll all be experts after that. All right, so here I'll go.
Yeah.
So I actually like Willett. It's, again, not something I buy on a regular basis. If I'm going to the store, there's 2 or 3 I'm buying and are kind of my staples. And then I will, on occasion, like for Christmas or Thanksgiving or birthdays or any kind of something, I will typically buy something I've never had before just to try it. I will give this a little bit higher score only because I think the bottles just kick ass.
The bottle's cool.
It's
Yeah.
well, I just spilled stuff
We,
everywhere.
that's what a waste.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so I'm gonna say the other thing about this is, to me, there are very few bourbons. There's quite a few, but there are more bourbons I can't drink neat, or I choose not to drink neat because it's just too much,
Too harsh.
and I have to cut it. This one is one of those that I can drink neat, no problem. It tastes good. I enjoy the taste, no problem. So I'm probably going to go on. I'm going to say this is probably an 8 on my scale from 1 to 10. So if you haven't tried it, I would encourage you to go try it.
I'm going to go 6.5, maybe 7. I'm a little bit more critical, and I really do like the Willett. I prefer this neat, but if you put the cube of ice in it and give it a chance to kind of cut it a little bit, it brings out a lot of vanilla flavor, which is good. I think if I was going to have more than one, I would enjoy it more with the cut a little bit as opposed to just one. I want it neat.
Interesting.
You couldn't do that again if you had to.
I think
Yeah,
the main
you're
reason.
right. I hope everybody saw that.
I think the main reason why I typically drink it on the rocks, obviously here in tastings it's neat, but
Yeah.
When I typically drink on the rocks, it's just because I don't particularly enjoy a warm drink. Like
Yeah.
So
if I'm
it's
just gonna
you
s-
like the temperature being down a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. No, I get that. And look, if I look at an entire calendar year, I'm not a bourbon guy 12 months out of the year. I'm not. I'm a bourbon guy more on the colder months. I don't know why that is.
I'm the same way.
But in the middle of the summer, if I'm out on the golf course or I'm at the lake or I'm out running around or by a pool or something, I'm not going to go get a bourbon. I wouldn't even get a bourbon and mix it with
Really?
anything.
What would
No.
you get in the summertime? Just like a beer or something?
Yeah, I would grab
Yeah.
a beer. Something you're really
Yep,
cold.
a beer. If I'm at the pool, I might have a few margaritas or some tequila drinks.
So I'm going to give you something. You might want to try this one then. Summertime, 95 degrees, playing a little golf. You know, we like to walk when we're playing. Get you one of those big Yeti tumblers, fill it up with ice, put your favorite bourbon in there, and a can of ginger beer. That's
Yeah, see,
refreshing.
and
See, I
there's-
love doing that.
That's your mule, right?
Yeah,
there.
that's your meal. I love that in the summertime.
Yeah, see, I miss. That's awesome. A lot of people love it,
I do.
especially mixing it. I prefer the bourbon neat, and I prefer it about 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
The kind of warm parts of the year, I prefer a cold beer or a cold drink or something. But anyway, that's me. So anyway,
Year round for me.
Yeah.
Year
So
round.
Willett, good. Willett's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I mean,
it
we
is
go
good.
Yeah.
6.5, 7 is still pretty good. I gave it an 8.
But okay, full disclosure, 6.5 to 7 is what I give it. And I said earlier, I do believe the perfect 10 exists.
Yeah.
But there's not too many things I'm gonna score over an 8.
Yeah.
If we, we will be sitting here eventually if we keep doing this. If people like it, we're going to try one that I'm going to have a 9, and I'm probably going to start crying.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and warn y'all up front. So
We're going to do some good ones here coming up. So, but anyway, so that's it. So last week, again, burgers, make sure you jump in there and check that out. Next week, we're going to do another burger, and then we'll do another bourbon after that. And by the way, please send us your suggestions. While we have
please.
a laundry list of burgers, we have a laundry list of bourbons. We probably have, 12, 13 bottles back there in the back.
yeah, in the office already.
And it's
yeah.
more just for showcase. We'll explain why sometime later. And if you really want to know why, give us a call. We're happy to explain why we have all the bourbons. But we enjoy a good cocktail every once in a while. And so we thought it'd be kind of cool just to do a show on it. See you, Eric.
See ya.
By the way, one of our partners is leaving, so
Yeah.
I just want to say bye to him. Anyway, so that's it for this week. Make sure you turn in next week. We're going to review another burger. And I don't know. Enjoy.
Do we want to give them a hint what we're going to do next week?
No.
No.
I don't, well, we don't know. I don't think.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, hey, here's to you and a very good week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Put a little logo back up there so they can see it.
Yeah,
There you go. All right.